So the first example we're going to look at is number 10. 2x over 3 minus 1/2 equals 2x plus 5 over 6. In order to solve an equation with fractions, we know how to solve a proportion, correct? In order to make this a proportion, we need to make this into one fraction. If we can make this into one fraction, then it's a proportion and we could cross multiply. How can we make this into one fraction?
From the common denominator and then subtract.
Exactly. So what would the common denominator be?
6.
Yeah, how would we turn this into 6?
Multiply by 2 on top and bottom, and then for the second one, multiply by 3.
So on the left side, the left expression, we get 4x over 6 minus 3 over 6. That equals 2x plus 5 over 6. 4x minus 3 is just 4x minus 3. So since we have the same denominator, we just subtract the numerators. 4x minus 3 over 6 equals 2x plus 5 over 6. Now that we have one fraction on this side, one fraction on that side, once we get one fraction here, one fraction there, it's a proportion. And as we saw from the do now, you could solve a proportion by cross multiplying. So we have 6 times 2x plus 5 equals, and then we'll cross multiply here, 6 times 4x minus 3. After you cross multiply, this is a basic equation that most of you should be able to solve without any issue. We'll get rid of the parentheses by distributing. We get 24x minus 18. That is equal to 12x plus 30. Subtract 12x from both sides. $30 is equal to 12x minus 18. Add 18 to both sides. 48 is equal to 12x. Divide both sides by 12. 4 is equal to x. Take 2 minutes and do this one here. Let's see if we could all get the same answer. Did everyone get this far? So is everyone in agreement with what we have here? All right, so then let's cross multiply. Let's see if we all got the same answer. Or is everyone done already? All right, but we're all good about this here. All right. So when you cross multiply, you get 2x times x plus 4. That equals 2x times x squared plus 2. How about this? Does this look good to everyone?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so what do you think we should do? Some of you want to distribute, right, to get rid of the parentheses? You could, right? Is there anything else you could do?
Divide.
Divide by what? Thank you. Yes. Divide both sides by 2x. Either way is fine. You could distribute if you want. But this is multiplication. This is multiplication here. So you could divide. And if you divide, that cancels out. And now you have x plus 4 equals x squared plus 2. So this is a quadratic. And the only way you can solve quadratics is set it equal to 0. So subtract x, subtract 4. Let's do it one step at a time. Let's subtract 4 first. X equals x squared minus 2. Subtract x, that cancels out. Once these cancels out, what's on the left side? 0. X squared minus x minus 2. How can we solve a quadratic? Victor, you could put that in your calculator. You could solve all quadratics by putting it into your calculator. So x squared minus x minus 2. I'll do it the long way though. This is x minus 2, x plus 1. So I got the factors first. Now keep in mind, remember we spend a lot of time talking about factors. Now we're asking you to solve. So your calculator, they give you the solutions where it crosses the x-intercept. The roots are your solutions. You don't have to change the signs if you're being asked to solve. You only change the sign if they're asking you for the factors. So these are the factors. X minus 2, x plus 1 are the factors. That's not what your calculator gave you. Your calculator gave you plus 2 minus 1. Yeah, you just solve each one. So you take each one, set it equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides. X equals 2. This is what your calculator told you. Subtract 1 from both sides. X equals negative 1. This is the other root that your calculator gave you. Exactly. So when you look at the graph of your calculator, these are the solutions. Not to be confused with the factors. Sometimes the direction will say factor. If it says factor, this is what you're being asked for, the factors. If it asks you to solve or find the solutions, this is what you're being asked for over here. So you have to know the difference between solve or solution versus factor. Last one. Where should we start? We can't cross multiply until we get one fraction here. So we have to find a way to take these two fractions and turn it into one.
Can you multiply x minus 3 and x by x plus 3 and then do the same thing for the other one?
Exactly. So we'll multiply this by x plus 3 over x plus 3. We'll multiply this one by x minus 3 over x minus 3. So now we have x times x plus 3 over x plus 3, x minus 3, plus x times x minus 3 over x plus 3 equals 2 over x squared minus 9. Oh, plus 3, x minus 3. X plus 3, x minus 3. Now they have the same denominator. We could go ahead and let's just simplify this before we add them. So x times x plus 3 is just x squared plus 3x. It's x squared minus 9. So this would be the factors of the difference of two squares. So x squared minus 9 if we were to multiply these two in the denominator. The fraction over here is x squared minus 3x over x squared minus 9. This is equal to 2 over x squared minus 9. We'll go ahead and add the numerators. So x squared plus 3x plus x squared minus 3x over x squared minus 9. We went from two fractions to one fraction equals 2 over x squared minus 9. Plus 3x, negative 3x, you all see that they cancel out, yes? So I'm just going to erase those. What is x squared plus x squared? 2x squared. So we have 2x squared over x squared minus 9 equals 2 over x squared minus 9. We have one fraction on the left, one fraction on the right. This is a proportion now. Nicole, now we could cross multiply. We have 2. When you cross multiply, don't distribute, just write them as factors first. 2 times x squared minus 9. Some of you might be tempted to distribute, but don't do that yet because you may be able to see something you could divide by. 2x squared, x squared minus 9. At this stage, you could distribute to get rid of the parentheses, or what? Is there something else we could do?
Divide by 2.
We could divide by 2. Sure. What else? That's correct. We could divide by 2. So we could divide by 2. What else could we divide by? Not x squared only.
X squared minus 9.
We could divide by x squared minus 9. So this entire quantity is one factor. We could divide both sides by x squared minus 9. We could also divide both sides by 2. Let's do the x squared minus 9 first. That cancels out. We have 2 equals 2x squared. Divide both sides by 2. You get 1 equals x squared. To isolate the variable, take the square root of both sides. Don't forget about the plus or minus. And the square root of 1 is plus or minus 1 equals x. Those are rational equations.